In 2022, foreign companies owned 14 of Burkina Faso's 15 gold mines. Today, that's basically flipped. Almost nobody outside West Africa noticed. We are covering 4 things in the next 15 minutes: roads, universities, housing, and gold. Each one is being paid for a different way, and by the end, you will see how they connect. This is the rare Sahel story with more concrete in its gunfire. Even though the gunfire hasn't stopped either. A construction trade magazine just called Burkina Faso a benchmark for building highways fast. That magazine doesn't do politics, it tracks cement, procurement, and machinery. That headline should not exist for a country fighting unactive insurgents across half of its territory, but it does. In December 2025, Ibrahim Traore broke ground on a 332-kilometer highway. It connects the country's 2 biggest cities, Ouagadougou and Bobo-Dioulasso. Nothing about the groundbreaking looked improvised. Burkina Faso already cleared all its foreign debt. Every dollar of it fully paid off. Then, it turned around and spent 357 million on this highway. That money came straight from the state budget. No World Bank loan attached to it and no IMF program with conditions written in from outside. Just cash the government says it earned on its own terms, spent on something people can actually drive on within a couple of years. Normally, a groundbreaking means a shovel nobody actually uses and a photo op that goes nowhere. Not here. Burkina Faso handed over 900 pieces of construction equipment in a single afternoon. Bulldozers, graders, road rollers, and concrete mixers. It looked like a military parade, except the tanks got demoted to traffic equipment. Somehow that's an upgrade. You can't pave a road with a tank, but apparently you can with the national pride and enough diesel. Here is the detail most outside coverage misses completely. A second road project, Kadugu to Yako, was originally planned as a basic 2-lane road. Midway through planning, the government upgraded it to a full dual carriageway. Governments almost never raise their own ambitions once the initial announcement is made and the cameras leave the room. This one did without being asked, which tells you something about how confident they currently feel. Somewhere in Yatenga region right now, a student is about to enroll in a university that didn't exist 2 years ago. It was built with money from gold pulled directly out of the ground in his own country. That's either the start of something genuinely new for this generation, or it's the start of the story we've watched go wrong before. Somewhere else in this continent, let's actually find out which one is it. In June 2026, the government approved a 10 million for new university buildings and lab equipment. Same rules as the highway, paid for domestically with no outside financing partners involved. The country now runs 17 specialized institutes and 4 comprehensive universities. Each one has an assigned job: agriculture, information technology, mining, medicine, and renewable energy. It's less, pick whatever major you want, and more. Here is the exact gap in the economy you are being trained to fill. Starting next academic year, every student in the country has to take an entrepreneurship class. Every single degree program, no exceptions carved out. Somewhere right now, a philosophy student is being handed a business plan alongside their reading list. That student did not sign up for this when they chose their major, and their professor probably didn't either. But the logic behind it is straightforward. Too many graduates, not enough formal jobs waiting for them. Quick fact check here, because getting this wrong matters. A post went viral claiming Traore made education completely free. Primary school all the way through university. The claim is false, confirmed false by independent fact checkers. No such policy actually exists on paper everywhere. The internet decided the real reform. The actual 10 million investment wasn't dramatic enough on its own, so it invented a bigger version instead. Here is the correction that actually matters more than the fake one. The insurgency has physically shut down universities in some regions. It has killed staff members. A regional center for excellence is a difficult title to defend when the daily commute to class puts students' life at genuine risk. The reform itself is real, funded and moving forward on schedule. It just doesn't reach every part of the map yet, and it won't for a while. Now, housing. This is the major area the government hasn't named, hasn't funded with a specific budget yet, and hasn't announced with any kind of ceremony. Traore's New Year address mentioned higher density, higher development in passing. That's essentially the entire public announcement on the subject. No program named attached to it yet, no dedicated budget yet, no handover event with machinery and photographs, like everything else on the list. Compare that silence to roads, which got an entire branded national initiative with its own name, oh God, which got its own state-owned company complete with a logo and a mission statement. A government this skilled at publicizing its wins, going quite specifically on housing, isn't automatic proof that it's failing on that front, but it is a real gap. And gaps like this are usually where the more honest version of the story is actually holding. He calls himself the political heir to a man who was killed for doing exactly what he is doing right now. That comparison wasn't an accident, and he brings it up himself publicly on purpose. So why would anyone take the specific risk knowing exactly how the last version of this story ended for the man he keeps invoking? Let's actually talk about the mines themselves. Since 2024, the state has taken back two major mines, Boungou and Wahgnion. It paid somewhere around $60 to $80 million to acquire them. Those same two mines were valued at nearly $300 million just a few years earlier, under different ownership. That's not a typo, it's not a rounding error either. That's a discount that would make a repo man blush and real estate agent quietly consider their whole career. In July 2026, the country opened its first fully owned gold mine located in Yako. Every single worker, every machine on site, and every dollar of profit belongs entirely to Burkina Faso. Nobody overseas holds a stake in this particular one. It's projected to produce 7 tons of gold over the next 15 years. More than 12,000 jobs came attached to the opening, all of them reporting to the same state instead of foreign shareholder. Here is the number worth repeating slowly. $6 billion in gold revenue in 6 months in 2026 alone. Back in 2022, remember foreign companies held 14 of the country's 15 industrial gold mines? That ratio has essentially flipped in under 4 years. The state now runs 3 mines completely on its own and holds a majority ownership stake in 3 additional ones beyond that. When Burkina Faso tried to buy a bigger share of a mine called Yako, the mining company's stock got halted almost immediately. That happened just from the announcement alone. Before any deal was finalized, nobody holds trading over nothing. Something about that specific move made investors seriously nervous, and the market reaction made that nervousness pretty hard to hide from anyone watching. At a mining conference in Australia, a Burkinabe government official had to stand up in front of the foreign investors and personally reassure them. His message: more or less, don't worry. The nationalization law is optional, not mandatory. Read that sentence again slowly. That's a government trying to calm down the exact same people whose minds it is currently actively buying from underneath them. Here is the number that almost never makes the headlines. About 430,000 people mine gold by hand in this country, often with little to no formal safety regulation protecting them. That's happening at the exact same time the government is publicly posting billion-dollar windfalls from its official gold revenue. One of those numbers is the headline everyone quotes. The other one is the actual one, harder truth sitting underneath it. Thomas Sankara nationalized these same mines back in 1986. He was dead within a year of doing it. The man running the country right now knows the specific history by heart in detail because he references it constantly. He is doing essentially the same thing anyway, just slower, more carefully negotiated, and more publicly hedged at every step. That caution isn't accidental, it's a direct response to exactly what happened before. A 37-year-old soldier has taken back more of his country's gold in 3 years than almost any other African leader has managed it in the past 3 decades combined. Nobody covering this story has really told you why he might not live long enough to see the full plan pay off. That risk is genuinely real. It hasn't gone away, and there have already been reported attempts against his life. Every major headlines about his country still says military junta in the first sentence. Almost none of them mention that the state just opened its first fully government-owned gold mine, created over 12,000 real jobs, and in the process, both of those things are true at the exact same time. Only one of them tends to get clicks from international audience, and it's not one with the ribbon cutting. Here is all 4 pieces actually connected to each other. Gold revenue funds sovereign wealth fund called Shinyan Sigui. That fund pays for the roads and the universities labs you heard about earlier. The finished infrastructure then becomes visible proof at home that the whole strategy is genuinely working. The proof is what justifies taking back the next mine, and the cycle repeats itself. It's a loop, and every loop needs a steady source of fuel. The country cleared its entire foreign debt, and that's a real, verifiable structure win. It removes one specific lever foreign creditors use to hold over the country's decisions, but it does not remove the country's exposure to whatever the gold price does next. On any given morning, it's a different leash than before. It's just attached as the old one was maybe so. Nominal GDP jumped from 18.8 billion in 2022 to 23.6 billion in 2025. That works out to a 43% increase over 3 years. Most independent analysts looking at the numbers say that that's mostly the gold price rising globally, not some underlying economic miracle happening on the ground. It is worth remembering that distinction before anyone calls this a revolution on camera. Instead of that, it more accurately is genuine excellent timing. A highway state-owned mine and a new rebuilt university lab all trace back to the same 15 minutes of gold price news on any given Tuesday morning. So that was actually our today's conversation. I really love you, and I hail all your efforts for being part of the family and Pillars of History project that is ongoing across. Thank you for being with us.